Great skills again by him. Oh, marvellous ball by Lewis.
Welcome to the Rangers Journey.
It's game day, as the kids say, and we're here at the Rangers Journal to bring you some pretty exciting team news, I think, and also to have a quick chat about how we think things are going to go, how the team's set up and what we're expecting today. Stepping in, having jumped into the telephone box and ripped his shirt off and put his cape on at the last minute, we have Doug, who has stepped into the breach. Doug, how are you feeling today?
Yeah, I'm excited. I think we're going to be in for a really good game. Really exciting match. It's a game both teams pretty much absolutely need to win. A draw doesn't help either team. So I think, as I say, we'll be in for an exciting one today.
Indeed we will. After yesterday's result, if my arithmetic is correct, then a loss for either team today means that we go into the last 9 games of the season needing a 3-game swing, which in a normal season would be a bit of an ask, but in a season where Motherwell are actually the forum team, Hearts aren't falling away, and Celtic are sort of stop-start, that is a big turnaround. So today's game, if anything, is possibly I would say possibly the biggest Old Firm game in decades in terms of the tension. Before I get into it, and I think we've got the team sheets ready to go, but I better remember to mention our lovely sponsors, Bluebell's Bar in Puerto del Carmen in Lanzarote, the only Rangers bar in Puerto del Carmen. I'm sure they have got the game on today because they play all the Rangers games. They may even have us on just now. So if they are, holos mis hermanos, like we are broadcasting live possibly to Bluebell's Bar, where you can relax, you can have drinks, you can have cocktails, you can sit inside, you can be outside in the terrace. It's family friendly. It's a great place for Rangers fans to go when they're on holiday in that part of the world. So we hope you're having a great time over there just now, and we hope the day just gets better and better for you. And with that in mind, I believe Doug may have the team sheet good to go.
Indeed we do.
Well, he's going for it, isn't he? Because I think there were some questions beforehand. Would he set up the same way he did against Hearts? Would we maybe drop one of the strikers and put on Diomande, who did so well in the second half in the last Old Firm game? But it looks very much like Danny Rule is going balls to the wall in this one. What are your thoughts, Doug?
Yeah, I think a lot of fans will be happy with that one. A lot of the sort of the fan preferred choices are there. You've got Sterling coming in for Tav to sort of shore up the back line a little bit. And then the other big one is playing the 2 up top. So I think those are the 2 kind of main decisions a lot of fans wanted to see. It's obviously a positive lineup with the 2 strikers up top. Chermiti has in recent times become the sort of the big game player. He maybe doesn't do as much in between, but he scored against Celtic previously. He scored the important goals against Hearts, so hopefully he comes through again. And then obviously Nadiri, this is a great chance for him to kind of really announce himself as a Rangers player. It's been a little bit stop-start for him so far. So as I say, hopefully he could put in another solid performance. So because when he has played, he's looked decent. Yeah, as I say, I think I'm pretty happy with that on the whole. Got a couple of folk in the comments maybe mentioning the only other player maybe folk would have liked to have seen might have been Diomande, who does have a tendency to play well in Old Firm matches. But yeah, all in all, I think people pretty happy with that one. So sort of 4-4-2 or 4-2-4, however you want to kind of lay it out. That, like you said, Roll's going for it, and that, as it should be, as in a home game as well.
Well, it's interesting because there was a question about whether or not he would maybe have, for an Old Firm league game, he would have Diomande in, maybe go with 1 striker, and then perhaps look at unleashing 2 strikers in the cup game. What I've seen with Danny Rule that I like is that he seems to learn fairly fast on the job. And I think the mistake he made in terms of playing playing a game against opposition before we played Hearts, and then maybe thinking we'll keep the best team for next week. That doesn't work when you're a Rangers manager. So instead of thinking about what he's going to do in the cup game, he looks like he's treating this very much like a cup game, and that's, I mean, effectively is a cup game today, because like whoever goes effectively 3 results behind, I don't think is going to be out of the race, because it is such a weird season, and you are going to go into that split, I think, with teams, a top 6 who can actually all take points off each other. Like Hibs are not a total loss. Falkirk have got a couple of good performances against Celtic, maybe not getting the results, and then you've got Motherwell and Hearts. So I don't think 6 or 7 points in real terms for Rangers or Celtic is the end of things, but it's life support. At that point, it's going to take something exceptional to come back. I'm seeing someone just saying that apparently Kasper Schmeichel is not in goal for them, which interesting, maybe an interesting aside to get your thoughts on here, Doug. Danny Rule, I was surprised at him talking about Celtic in the run-up. I know people have made the point quite rightly that we're allowed to talk about Celtic, and it's a free country, and he's a football manager, so he can talk about football. I was surprised that he went into the detail he did, and I was also surprised that he talked about the performance in Europe, which did seem a little bit over the line in terms of what you would expect from a manager. I had 1 or 2 thoughts here. Danny Rule seems very big on psychology, massively into it in terms of the players, etc. Has he made a misstep there, or was he playing reverse psychology, trying to get in Martin O'Neill's head? Because at the end of the day, the way I look at it, if you're a professional sportsman, you tend to try and avoid giving the opposition anything to get fired up over. It's a free couple of percentage points performance-wise that you just don't need to give them. Was Danny Rule playing it cute there, or do you think he's made a misstep?
No, I kind of like it when there's a little bit of back and forth and build up towards games. The thing about the comments tend to be, they I feel like they kind of gain or lose extra kind of mythical points once the outcome happens, and you can then sort of look back in it, and you can apply whatever logic you want once the result's gone either which way. I mean, players, they shouldn't really need what managers say shouldn't really push the envelope too much. The players should be going into the game up for it regardless. I'd be worried if it took a manager to say something that kind of marked you. But I mean, I do agree. Yes, it maybe it gives that 0.5% here or there. Like, no doubt, with if you're sitting there listening to the boy's name escapes me, but the Celtic player when they interviewed him after the game.
Luke McGowan.
McGowan. When he's saying, "Oh yeah, we're the best team when we click." Yeah, okay, I can see that. Some players might go, "All right, well, we'll show them," sort of thing. But they kind of should be already at the "we're going to beat them" point regardless. So I kind of like. It kind of adds to the theatre of it all. I mean, that's why people love managers like Jose Mourinho. It's why they loved Alex Ferguson. It's why that Kevin Keegan interview is so infamous. It's all that banter and back and forth and mind games and playing with one another. It's all part of the pageantry that football can provide. And so, no, I think it's fun. And I've seen a couple other people say the same as well. That it's kind of nice that, because, like you said, this is such a big game with such high stakes for both sides, which isn't often been the case in the sort of second half of the season for so long. I think that's why it's coming back out, because it is such a big game, and there is that like it's just kind of dangling there, and it's hard to resist. But I mean, I think Danny Rule was pretty. I thought he was pretty level-headed on the whole, because I think the delivery of these messages can sort of be half the battle, if you like. And I thought the Rule was pretty. I don't think he said anything too salacious. He just sort of gave his opinion, and that was that. So I thought more interestingly was Martin O'Neill's response, because for me anyway, it kind of felt like he bit a little bit back a little more than perhaps Danny did. I thought Danny's was relatively calm, but then I'm biased, so maybe I'm seeing what I want to see.
There is that, and I mean, the proof of the pudding will be in the eating of it. And it's funny. I can't believe you did the controversial thing of accusing football fans of hindsight bias, as if we would ever do anything like that. One thing, just to clarify, not all of us love Jose Mourinho. I just want to get that on the record right now. When he was up for talk as the Rangers manager, I was not happy. There was a bit of talk there in the chat about our options off the bench. Maybe people a wee bit less certain about how we can influence the game if we go all out at the start. I'm not so sure about that. I'm looking at that bench and I'm thinking you've got pretty decent options. You can have Naderi run himself into the ground and you can bring on Miovski. You've got Diomande who can come on if you need something slightly a bit more control in midfield, or someone that can take it in the half turn, maybe in the second half. Bayrami's looked not bad coming in, he's looked bright. For whatever reason, I think we have to accept that if consecutive managers look at Bayrami and don't see him as a regular first team starter, there's a reason for that. It may just be his size, it might be what he's shown in training. But even a player like Asgard, who I know I don't think he's a guy to throw into the first 60 minutes of an Old Firm game, but perhaps when it's slowed down a little bit to his pace, which is not the way it's supposed to work, it's supposed to be the other way around, even he's an option. What are your thoughts? Because like Danny Rules, and actually not forgetting Gassama, who I think gets very short shrift from a lot of fans. He's played almost all season, not quite in a Ryan Kent role, but I think with a Ryan Kent type notion of that he does a certain thing, he gets us up the pitch. He is a bit of a workhorse in that regard. It's maybe blunted some of his attacking prowess in the final third, but he looked very effective against Hearts when he came on. He looked like a player with a point to prove. If the game's in the balance in the second half, Doug, what are your thoughts about our bench options?
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to your bench, it's all about what difference can they make to whatever scenario you happen to be in. So obviously there's ideally one of ideally we'll put the game to bed early and so the subs won't be that important. It'll be just about keeping things ticking over, which I think everyone on that bench can do. If it does come to us needing something, if we are drawing or if we are behind, then Gassama can make a difference, obviously with his pace. If he makes the right decisions when he gets into the sort of the latter parts of the pitch, then he can cause damage. It's just whether he can make those right decisions is the main thing. Diomande, I think, can come in and change the game. I think Bayrami also can come in and change the game. Tavernier, obviously, we know what he can offer in terms of his passing and chance creation, so he can come in and add something. When it comes to Asgard and Miovski, though, I would be less confident of them coming in to change the game. I'm not sure if they'll offer more than what we'll have as the starting lineup. They've both got the ability to score a goal, so I mean it's not as if they wouldn't come on. But when I look at them and just sort of look back at the season, they wouldn't be the people I'd be going to first. But ideally, as I say, if all's going well, then we're 3-0 up. Come 60 minutes, and you're bringing Tav on for Sterling, so that Sterling can play next week as well. You're bringing on Diomande because he'll keep up the intensity in the midfield, and you're bringing on Gassama because if they're pushing, then he can break on them on the counter. So that would be my kind of ideal things where I'm looking to see from the subs today.
Well, it certainly, to me, it looks like we're in relatively rude health. I think the question with this team is mentality, just because they haven't been in these situations before. We've had a few drop points in away games, but I think this Rangers team has got gears that other teams in the league don't have at the moment. We saw that against Hearts when we actually started to motor. They couldn't live with us. I suspect it will be the same with Celtic if we can get on top. a lot of positivity today, a lot of very tasty looking scores coming up in the comments, although Paul McCorricle's had to sort of like go and sort of puncture my balloon a little bit by reminding us who the referee is. On the upside, I mean, like, you know, John Beaton's not a good referee, but he does seem to occasionally get influenced by the crowd. So hopefully, with, you know, like almost 50,000 screaming bears, that might be exactly what we need today. Let's hope we're not talking about him in the aftermath of the game. I'm aware we're only supposed to do a quick rev up before the game, and the battle fever is clearly building in the comments here. Doug, I'm going to put it to you for a prediction. So I know you never want to sit in the fence. What are your thoughts today, scoreline wise?
Well, I'm going to be positive. I think being at Ibrox, I think, is a huge thing. Like you said, having the crowd there. Which will be obviously the majority crowd that we tend to have, unlike obviously next weekend, where there'll be a much more greener tint to the stands, shall we say? Although I say that as if I'm actually I would like that to be the norm again, personally, because I think a better atmosphere overall. But yeah, as I say, I think fans are positive because we've been good at home. It's the away form that's been the Achilles heel in terms of going up and down. So I think pretty positive. Obviously, we've got a couple of people already mentioning, 4-1 in the crowd there. I'm going to say 3-0. I think if we go into it the way that we have other games that we've played at home, we've got the confidence of having beaten them already this season, albeit under a different manager. And as I say, he's played an attacking team, so I'm hoping that they're going to go out, get straight in and about them. Obviously, we've touched on they've made a big change in their in goals. They've got a young defender having to play because of Trusty's injury. So there's a couple of changes in their backline there that perhaps if we can rattle them early, then we can take advantage of. So yeah, I'm going to say hopefully a comfortable 3-0 victory and a day that just kind of really makes us feel good going into the cup final, obviously the week to come.
Interesting Freudian slip there when you refer to it as the cup final, because that's exactly what games are feeling like just now.
Yeah,
it does feel like
point.
It's funny because you said it and I was like, that's exactly what it feels like. Well, for there's a lot of very nice looking scores, a lot of 3-0, 3-0s, 3-1s, and 4-1s in the comments. I think this Celtic side can still create chances, and I think they're going to score today potentially. So I'm seeing a rip roaring 3-2 to Rangers that punctures their balloon and takes the roof off the stadium. So that's my prediction. Everyone's going for a win. Nobody's, and that's what you would want on match day. Everybody is, everybody's going. I don't know if that boo from Paul McCorricle's because I think Celtic are going to score. I still think we're going to win. So, at the end of the day, that's the most important thing. I'm going to thank Doug for coming on at very short notice and doing a stellar job as always. Thanks for being on today, Doug.
No problem.
And we are going to go now and get the battle fever well and truly on. I'm off to a birthday party straight after the match, so planning to celebrate there. And I hope your team wins today. And don't forget that every day is a Rangers Journal Day.
Every night is the Rangers Journal Day.